Right then, good evening, good afternoon, good morning everybody. My name is Paul, I'm also called Knick-Knack, and I'm the brains behind Knick-Knack's Old Peculiar, the world's longest running boring blog, and behind Knick-Knack's Daily Teaser, a fun series of daily brain teaser quizzes. I also talk about TV shows I watch, and I really should be sitting down with some more Doctor Who at some point, and a few other things. I also watch movies occasionally, and I've watched a few over the past few weeks. I recently caught Nope, the Jordan Peele film, and I've been meaning to watch Flux Gourmet, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Doctor Who Am I? But I'm going to possibly pencil those in for another time. Today is Thursday the 19th of January, and last night, on Wednesday the 18th, I saw the most recent Ben Wheatley film I've caught, called
In the Earth.
I wanted to tell you about it. In the Earth opens with a long shot, closing in on a standing stone in the middle of some wild woods and zooming through the hole near the monolith's top. It then shifts to show us a flint rock being broken up into smaller pieces by an unknown male hand, and smallish chips from that stone buried as a trap for unwary and barefooted travellers. The scene shifts again to show us researcher Martin Lowry, Joel Fry, approaching a government-controlled lodge in the wilder areas around Bristol. A Bristol ravaged like the rest of the country by a mysterious unnamed plague, one that makes the staff of the lodge both wary and keen to disinfect Martin before he enters the building or the wood it guards. The reason Martin is happy to put up with this, partly he knows about the plague, but simply that it's part of his job. He's been assigned to work with Dr. Olivia Wendell, Hayley Squires, who's embedded in the depths of the wood, researching the incredibly fertile soil in the area. The only problem is that with no mobile phone signal and no transport, the only way for Martin to get there is by being taken by his guide Alma, Alora Torchia, to get to where they're going, and the only way to do it is to get there by a 2-day walk through the woods. 2 days walk through a wild wood that is full not of lions and tigers and bears, oh my, but full of missing people, full of empty tents, full of high-power speakers, and full of unseen bits of flint you wouldn't want to step on if you're barefoot. Things could get nasty if you're barefoot. Now, what did I make of In the Earth? Was it, as I always ask in these situations, was it good, bad, or indifferent? Did I notice anything? Did I even understand the ending of the dratted thing? Or the premise, come to that, the basic idea? First things first, if you're reading this or watching this video version, I've put in a spoiler warning, hopefully at the start, if I've remembered, to let you know that I'm going to talk about the ending of the film. I want you to watch it, possibly ask you something as well, but I want you to watch this film first and then come back and we can see what we can see. At any rate, the basic premise is simple enough. If I recall the very basic biology I've learned, as well as other bits and bobs I've read in the news, the mycorrhiza, or mycorrhiza, it's mycorrhiza they pronounce it in the film. The mycorrhiza in the film that Dr. Wendell has investigated are real-world life forms made up of fungi and plants, and in this case it's a black fungus in the woods that spills off spores that form a deep mist, plus all the trees in the wood. It grows through the underground root network. The fungi can communicate with trees and with other parts of itself, even if it's only on in the real world, a simple level of food here, water there, more food here, no water there. It's simple stuff that says food over here, water over there. It's that kind of level. So the film uses that as its central conceit, if you will. It also talks about a local, completely fictional made-up wood spirit called Parnag Feg, and a long-lost necromancer worshipped by Zack, the Reece Shearsmith character, who is Dr. Wendell's former husband. Now, if I've followed the plot correctly, and it can be a bit intense, this film, Dr. Wendell believes that mycorrhiza is intelligent and capable of communicating and being communicated with, whilst Zach believes that whatever it is that's out in the woods, woodland spirit, dead sorcerer, something like that, he's convinced all that it needs and wants is worshipping. Both of them believe that whatever it is focused on the standing stone that we see at the start of the film, and that is the centre point of the area Dr. Wendell is researching. She's doing soil research on it, but it's changed into trying to communicate with the fungus. Now, in the Earth's ending, and this is where that spoiler alert cuts in the Earth's ending, did I mention I saw Jordan Peele's Nope a couple of weeks ago? I'll try and put links to the teasers and a few other bits and bobs, and to Nope up here in the corner in my various cards. I saw Jordan Peele's Nope a couple of weeks ago, and because of his use of intertitles in Nope, I walked away from it convinced Peele was a big fan of Stanley Kubrick, something his Wikipedia entry confirmed for me. Seeing In the Earth has me wondering the same thing about Wheatley, although his Wikipedia entry has little to say on the subject. In fact, it's got nothing to say on the subject. But I bring it up because the very psychedelic, climactic endings of In the Earth had me thinking of 2001 A Space Odyssey, or at the very least the famous Stargate sequence in 2001. It's not just the ending, there's a couple of scenes that have similar psychedelic-ish hallucinations, including one where Alma tries to leave the area by walking through the mist of spores that the fungus puts out, only to be floored and needing rescue. It also put me in mind of one particular scene with a tent in Wheatley's earlier A Field in England, but that's possibly a whole other discussion. You should look up my review of it on Knickknacks Old Peculiar. That'll tell you a bit more, I hope. But at any rate, we're talking about Alma and the film's ending. Alma's last line, the very last line of the film, we see her from Martin's viewpoint saying, "Let me guide you out of the woods." But with audio effects being what they are, this is simple to do, but we hear her speaking with a radically altered voice. What happened? Can I turn to you? This is where the spoiler, this is why I ask you to go see this film. Can I ask you what you think happened? Can I ask you what you thought that meant? What, on as well as in the Earth, was going on? Because I'll be honest, I have very little idea. I can only assume what I think happened at the end of the film is what actually is going on. It's not an easy, it doesn't hand you an easy explanation in the Earth. Whatever the entity in the wood is, whether it's a woodland spirit, whether it's a dead necromancer, a dead sorcerer, whether it's a highly intelligent, evolved talking mushroom, whatever it is, it knows what's been happening, it wants to help Martin, and it's possessed Alma with the various hallucinations in order to try and help. That's what I'm thinking right now. I could be wrong, I could be right. But what my imagination is telling me you are turning around and saying, "Right, Paul, have you seen a good film, and what did you want to ask?" Yes, In the Earth is a good film. It's the camera work, and I believe Wheatley picks good camera people and good cinematographers to work with. The camera work is superb. The shots, some of the compositing, the post-production work in the compositing, and I believe there's a lot more of that going on than we think, especially for the shots through the eye of the standing stone. The compositing, the colour palette, the acting are all superb. Joel Fry, who plays Martin Lowry, the main character, caught my eye looking convincingly tortured when having his toes chopped off. It's rather a grim scene, actually, but there you go. This is a horror film. Hayley Squires looks convincingly unnerving. All of the cast managed to make good use of that also obviously fake foot that's used to represent Martin Lowry's foot, Joel Fry's foot, having a couple of toes amputated with an axe and no anaesthetic. It's a very, very good film. I don't know if it's Ben Wheatley's best work. I am still convinced that is A Field in England. But I believe In the Earth is a very, 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 very good piece indeed. One that begs that question I wanted to ask you earlier. What did you make of the ending? What did you make of Amber's last line? What did that ending mean? Can you, as well as me, watch this film? And can we get out of the woods? I'll leave that right there and tell you I've given this film 4 stars on my incredibly 4 stars plus rating system, and I'll tell you to go see this film, if for no other reason than to see something rather special. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time when I do the daily teaser. I will see you next time when I watch another film and another TV show, and I'll see you then. Have a very good day. Have a very good week. Be seeing you.